Of course it is.
Whoa, so good morning everyone, my name is Xen, and I get the immense pleasure of walking the demo tightrope of death with you. And because they like to pick on demo guys, they've just disabled the Wi-Fi and re-enabled it a few minutes ago, so now all your hungry devices are syncing away my beautiful cloud, but I'm going to give it my best shot anyways. So if you can get my screen on display, there you go. Right in front of you, you see Google's interface that end users have. Now, when it comes to security as well, we've been thinking long and hard how we can get scale of cloud to make you more secure, but find that balance where your users don't want to stop working with their devices because they're now super secure. So as we announced, today we're very pleased to bring out Google's version of two-step authentication, where a user can simply say, right, I would like to go into a two-step verification system. How do we make this a little cooler for your users? Well, if they have any device, they can choose to have Google phone them or SMS them. Now I was going to do this because it is pretty cool. Nominate phone my mobile phone in the UK, and then Google phones you and says your password is 3214. So again, that one thing you know and one thing you own being done through voice. And we'll do that for free for you in all those countries. Now, obviously we don't have a signal, so I'll show you another way of doing this. We thought that the marketplaces for iPhone and the marketplaces for Android gives a new exciting opportunity to create new applications. So if you have a quick look here, and if I can get the Dragon Scope, or yeah, the Wolf Vision, forget the name of this thing on screen. There you go. We've released a little application called Google Authenticator, which really is a software-based RSA token generator for you. So let's have a look how a user might configure this. On their screen, they click the secret key, take their phone, bring up a normal barcode scanner, which you'll be having lots of fun with later today on your devices, scan it, and now Google says, right, that is not a normal URL. This should open Google Authenticator and gives me an RSA token, so 525093. Let's see if I can test that. Test your mobile application, verify your login, 525093, verify. And that worked successfully. Verify, continue with enrollment. I get the option to print off one-time passwords. If you do forget your phone at home, you don't have to contact the IT desk because you've got 10 that you can use once, and as you use them, they're just destroyed. So I'm not going to show you how I log into my account now with that because we have lots to show, but I'm sure that shows you how something like security can be done in a better way with cloud technologies as well.
All right, so now that Xen's given you a preview of how you get into your Google services in a more secure way, I'd like to give you guys a little preview of some of the things that are coming within the Google applications themselves to give you a little sense of where we're going with this technology overall. So Xen, can you pull up some of the other technologies that are new and improved?
Let's have a look. So again, I think we're conscious that there's a lot of customers here that know Google very well, and there's a lot of customers here that have never seen Google before. So I'm going to try and give you a bit of a balance of things that you've never seen before, but for the customers that haven't used Google, maybe some things that would still get you excited. So in front of you, you see a stock standard Gmail interface. In many ways, I guess mail clients have become commoditized. Mail is mail. There's a few differences here. My user gets 25 gigabytes of storage. It's enterprise grade, so it's secured by your Active Directory or LDAP system if you want it, and now two-factor authentication. But what I'm really excited about is these platforms or these applications that Google are bringing out aren't designed to be dead web systems. They're designed with alive technologies like HTML5. How many of you are using HTML5 in your organization's web infrastructure today? No. Not many. But you'll see this is a really exciting space, and HTML5 is built into all our products. Have a look what that enables. If I'm composing a mail to, say, Roger, and I can simply go from my operating system, drag and drop a file into my browser. The browser is aware of the operating system and allows me to upload a file simply by drag and dropping. That kind of technology was always something reserved for those special client installs that needed patches. Now you can simply model that on a web application powered by HTML5. Another scenario, do we have Wi-Fi up and running?
Not yet.
Right, so we don't have Wi-Fi up and running yet. Another scenario that I could show you, as soon as we get Wi-Fi up, I'll show you a video call capability using purely HTML5, but this I can show you now. When you think of search and information overload, Google's always been kind of at the forefront of helping you make sense of a lot of information. We started with search on the web. We gave you a pretty good search experience within your inbox. Very recently, we improved it. So if I were to go look for this email by the HR head, what's one fact that we all know about people? They can't really spell. So I go and say HR he. Google now searches and, if you like this, please clap, gives you spelling suggestions on your search criteria. Something we've been waiting for a long time. There you go. So a simple search is now corrected through statistical analysis and gives me, you probably meant to search for HR head. We do one thing better and we say, there's all the emails from your HR head, but let's give you a unified search experience and show you any documents or any sites that have been created by your HR head as well. Now let's have a look at this one email from the HR head. Some interesting things in there as well. I'll scroll down to keep my surprise. You look at that mail, and many of you would think that must be something that comes with two-factor authentication because my mail is highly encrypted in 128 bits. For those that are from England or Wales, especially Wales, you'll know this is in fact Welsh. So through the power of statistical analysis, Google can guesstimate this must be Welsh. Google knows I'm English, so it gives me the option to just hit a button and translate that mail into English for me. Again, very exciting because that kind of scale of computing power would only be possible if you had massive service with massive computing. Right, now we've also been thinking, this is all very cool, cloud, big bandwidth, right? We've been thinking, how can we deliver these services effectively to you, not only in broadband rich sites, but also in remote sites like South Africa and anywhere where broadband is not as abundant as it is here. So on this specific mail, you can see a PowerPoint attachment, and a pretty beefy one, 292K. Now normally you would have downloaded this entire mail before you could even read it. Now with Google, you can click View. Google renders it on the server side and streams it to you without needing any PowerPoint installed, and it only downloads the pages that you're viewing. So maybe you only download 14K. Really design services on a streamlined web infrastructure to deliver great capability to anyone. Another scenario that we thought is very important is how do you make sense of all the chaos in the inbox? We've talked about information overload. Now, I don't think your mailbox looks like this, right? Nice and clean with one unread mail. Probably, especially after conferences like this, looks a little more like this. Now, this has been a hard problem. We thought we can add more search, better search. We can give you the ability to create folders, and we can give you the ability to drag and drop. Let me try and drag and drop for you. Drag and drop folders as you would normally do. But you come back from holiday and you spend hours creating folders, hours doing searches, hours creating filters to try and get to a point where you can see mails again. So, we announced about a week ago a new feature called Priority Inbox. We've taken the existing technologies in Google to detect spam and said if we can block bad mails from coming into your inbox, if you can expand that, we can probably tell you which emails in your inbox are super important. And we look at a lot of things. We look at things, who do you commonly mail? Who commonly mails you? What kind of topics are you interested in? And we build this very private index to your inbox only. So let's have a look at this in action. Click Priority Inbox. Separates it out into 3 clear categories: important, unread, starred, and everything else. And you can see it's done a very good job because these are the people I liaise with. And, not in this specific example, but you'll see often when I have mails from Google, it will bring that to the top because it knows I'm particularly interested in Google. Again, something you can only do with massive, massive computing power. Now the last thing that I thought, how's our Wi-Fi going?
Getting there.
Getting there? Good. Tightrope of death for demos. So that's information overload. let's talk a little bit about collaboration. Now, we've got the ability in Google to upload documents into a big old file cabinet in the cloud. And there you can see the Google Doc list. Now, we've made a big change to that recently, saying, yeah, it's fine that you can create Google Docs, but it'd be great if you can upload any file type. So we've released the ability to upload any file type into Google Docs. And here you can see a video, MP4, which is uploaded to Google Docs. But I still have that great rich sharing experience to say, go, share this document in the cloud, even though it's not a Google Doc, with anyone, and we'll grab Ian Fletcher. And I'll have to get my @ sign, and not fmail, gmail.com. So now, even though it's a static document, it's not a living collaborative document, at least I have a very rich sharing model around this blob. And if Ian gets that video at some stage, and I say, whoa, I didn't want you to have that video, I can easily take those permission sets away. It's all nice and firmly in the cloud. Let's have a look at what these documents might look like if it was a Google document. And I've gone and created, let me get you in there. So I've gone and created a Google document on this side called a stock trading analysis. And this is authored in Google's document interface. So it's designed to be very collaborative so that multiple people can work on it. So Ian, the little green blob, is moving around on my spreadsheet, and he's putting in a ticker symbol, and he's got Goog. I'll go for MSFT, and you'll see it bringing in values real time from the cloud, updating appropriate graphs as necessary. So not only is this collaboration between two people, one in China, one in England, doesn't matter, we've also got the ability to bring in real-time data sets from sources like Google, but also services that you've created internally in your company. You can draw data into that spreadsheet in real time. Pretty exciting. So that's collaboration. Now we've been thinking, collaboration in Google has been amazing. But how can we start really bridging that gap between the people that are currently on Windows, on non-collaborative infrastructures, like you have? I'm sure you have many of your users on Windows. So if our connection holds, and to make this even more complicated, I love this death row walk, I'm going to show you something that we haven't released yet. But we really wanted to show you this, to show how important it is for Google that you can leverage your existing investments and still get the power of Google. So how many of you are aware that we give you the capability to sync your existing Outlook clients with Google instead of Exchange when we release Google Apps Sync for Microsoft Outlook? Good, quite a few. The problem was that doesn't cater for the people in Office who are creating documents. So very happy to pre-announce today Google Docverse. Google Docverse, and you can see Office 2007. Yep, Office 2007 loaded with a little ribbon from Google Docs. Now I can go and create this document and say this is my business proposal. And because we all like fonts, I'll say this is my business proposal with cool fonts. And I'll hit save, as I normally would. And I'll place this on my desktop. Now, notice how this bar kicks in and also replicates that document into the cloud. Now, by placing that document into the cloud, you also get a lot of the collaborative features from Google surfaced inside Microsoft Office, like a single link that you can click, send to someone, and they can view that document in their browser. The ability to look at this PowerPoint and see multiple revision histories within Office. So if you've made any changes, you can roll back within Office. You can set privacy settings and say, I'm working on this PowerPoint. I know it's private by default, but I'd love to make this company-wide. And very excitingly, it gives you collaboration within the stack. So I'm going to go and try this, and I have to put this out there. I was on the phone this weekend getting a build of this ready for you. So this was compiled 2 days ago.
There were 4 builds done that day, just to be clear.
Let's see how it goes. So I'm going to share this with you.
You applause just for trying.
So I'm sharing on stage
just in case it didn't work. I'm supposed to cover it.
can we have the wolf vision here as well? So on Ian's side, he should see a mail. He's downloading the mail, saying you've got a new business proposal. Click the download button for us. Thank you, Wi-Fi. And as you can see, now this loads up in Office, and he's got the same ribbon. So by virtue of that Google ribbon, we're now connected. So he goes and decides, Xen, you're just so bad at any colors. So you might have a good business proposal, but I'm the style guy. So he changes the style on his side, hits save, and yep. As it's going into, it's replicating on his side to the cloud, I detect, preparing to merge Xen's changes, and hopefully, if this all goes quite nicely, and the connection holds, I get a new Right, and now I am wrapping up because we have one last very special announcement we want to make to you. So we know that in the future, mobile working is going to overtake any desktop system that you're working on. So you've seen the power of Google Docs to create normal documents. I can't show this to you now, but we've improved the fidelity, so the import fidelity is near or matching anything you might be using today. But we're very conscious that people tend to, let's get this going again. Can we have the wolf vision on screen? There we go. People tend to use these devices, and originally I was very skeptical about the takeoff, but clearly, looking at the hands in the audience, it's working. So we've given you the ability previously to do emails, and you can scroll, but you know when you went to Google Docs on your iPad, you could view only. So today we're very happy to pre-announce the ability coming soon so that you can go into a Google Doc on your iPad, click, and watch me on that screen. Look here. And that is not working. Aha. Let's try it again. Just reload this guy. Like I said, pre-announcing.
Still being built.
Still being built. Give that a second. Has the Wi-Fi gone down on me? Let's try the Android in the meantime. We'll come back to that guy. So, on top of the iPad, today we wanted to pre-announce the ability for you to also edit these on any mobile device running Android. So here you have the same document, and hopefully I've got it on the Android here, and I can click Features and put in some smiley faces maybe. And that is not working either. Right. I will certainly come back on stage, I think, later and do these two demos for you again. Pre-announced, but you will see this as if all Wi-Fi works, you'll have the ability to take your iPad, not only view, but edit spreadsheets and documents while you're traveling. And you'll be able to take your Android devices and edit spreadsheets and documents while you're traveling. Thank you.
I really appreciate these guys taking the effort to attempt things that we've never done before, internal or external, with pre-announced features, so thank you guys. And hopefully that gives you a brief perspective on where we're going to enable a new kind of work focused on information overload, productivity through collaboration, and mobile access to technologies. And hopefully that gives you a little perspective on what Google is offering the market, where we're heading in the future. So thank you.